Continue to give you updates from the villa, but we'll come back to the studio now, where we'll be speaking on issues around security. The president did touch on it during his speech today, and then what you're also watching is a military parade. So we're going to speak on security. We'll be bringing in a retired Major General and former General Officer commanding 1 Division, Wahab. He joins us in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for inviting us.
So today the president, while speaking, spoke to the issue of security in the country, and then he talked about how so far bandits and insurgents commanders have been decimated in the past few weeks. Speak to that and how the importance and significance of that, even as we celebrate Independence Day.
Yeah, thank you very much. The issue is you want to take out the leadership of all these terrorists and banditry. Without a leader, most of the followers don't have a point of continuing with whatever they're doing. Yes, globally it is believed that it is not only the leadership but the followership. But you need to start somewhere. And learning from what the Israelis are doing with Hezbollah, you take out the leadership and then go after the foot soldiers. That's what is happening right now in Nigeria. Take out the leadership, then the followers are in disarray. Those who want to surrender will surrender naturally. Those who still want to continue will not be pursued. That's the essence of the whole thing.
We never used to have this style of insecurity in Nigeria since in the last 6 decades. We started seeing this trend 2009 with the advent of Boko Haram insurgents, and the military had to change tactics because this was never our style. We're used to peacekeeping, keeping our territorial borders but right now we are facing something that it's new, a common enemy that is ready to die. And I'm sure with the change in style, we've evolved over time. But how would you assess it so far, the way we've been able to handle it from Boko Haram to banditry across the country?
We've done well, not because I used to be in the military, but when you learn from others, Sri Lanka, Colombia, most other countries who have faced this have been there for more than 40, 50 years.
40, 50 years.
They are still backing the same thing. We are there less than 20 years. We are now, what has happened is, okay, let's have a clear directives, a clear strategy. What do? Divide the whole thing into 3. Take out the leadership, pursue the followership, and then the average Nigerian try and appeal to them. Then it's part of their security architecture. That's what is happening right now. For instance, at the Resource Center in July, we had a seminar on the situation in the Northwest, and some of these things came out. We have a situation where members of the same family are part and parcel of what you're facing. The mother and the daughters look out for logistics requirements, go out to source for ammunition, while the men are the one fighting. So you can't wipe out the
whole family.
It's difficult for you to wipe out the entire family. If you do that, you are going to end up with a fake victory that serves no one.
Even when they are all complicit?
Yeah. At times, those who are involved don't even know, or they are cajoled, they are forced into doing it. So you have to separate those who are actually hardcore elements from those who don't even know what they're doing. It's difficult, but it's what is happening right now.
That shows us that it might not be the solution might not be totally military.
It's not. That's the message being passed around. It's a combination of kinetic and non-kinetic approach. The military continues to do its own, while other elements of state power goes in. Appeal to citizens, which is what the president is trying to do. We are trying to do something about this. We need to appeal to those who are sitting on the fence, who know what is happening, but they are not ready to talk. And gradually things are beginning to change. People are coming out to give information, to give intelligence to the security operatives. So it's a combination of a whole of issues that we have to contend with here. It's not, to us, it's a new thing, but others have faced the same thing. And that's why, and don't forget that a lot of things have changed. In the past, if you are posting a letter, it takes 14 days to get your reply. 7 days for the letter to go.
Now you can send it via mail.
But
let me come to, because I want to follow up on what Ayo was saying earlier, which is very critical, that this was not something we always knew. You know, we grew up with our doors open, and the only reason you locked your door was not because of security, but because it was nice and well, everybody go inside and sleep. But I mean, things changed. Like you said, things have changed. What changed when it comes to, you know, the kind of insecurity we're facing now? Where did we miss it? Did we look away from something? What changed?
We try to emulate what is happening in other parts of the world. We want to develop like them. Unfortunately, we left the welfare system of communal living we're used to, where you are your brother's keeper, where I can come to you, you don't know me, I can ask for assistance, accommodation, feeding, clothing, you give me. Today is not possible because we look at others. No, you can't do that in UK, you can't do that in US, you can't go to France and ask for assistance. And we're trying to do that. And we lost trust. Trust went through the window. And it became a situation where even when you see something happening, you are not ready to assist, you are not ready to report, which was unusual. In the past, you get to a village or to any place, any part of Nigeria, and the head of that community knows somebody new had reported, or people go to him and tell him, this person is the new person, he's come to my house. Today, nobody reports to anybody. We don't even know our next door neighbors. We don't even care who lives in the next door. And so a lot of things have changed in the process of developing.
I know you want to come in, but let me just, does next door also mean the surrounding countries? Because sometimes I know that they say some of these people, the US will focus on every country in the world. They have their eyes and ears on the ground. Did we also miss it when we're not paying attention to the countries that surround our borders?
We never paid attention. The simplest way to understand this is most of the 4 countries surrounding us are Francophone. Cameroon, Chad, Niger, and Benin Republic. How many Nigerians speak French? Most of these guys speak English. It's a must for them to speak English. But when you meet them, they don't speak English with you. They speak French. We don't bother. And that's a major, major fault, which we need to correct. The military is trying to do that. For instance, in the army since 2011-12, it's becoming compulsory for you to learn French. It's either French or Arabic. And they've even taken that beyond to say, okay, even at the resource center, you must go to resource center to learn, if you're a Yoruba man, you must learn Hausa and Igbo, so that you'll be able to communicate with the average Nigerian. But beyond that, last week, a message went out to all army formation, particularly the schools. Do you have French teachers, or you have those who are trained in French? You want to gather everybody and find a way of sending them to various units to start teaching everybody French. And that's what it should be, a national issue, not the military, where you can pick what your neighbor is saying. We don't bother about our neighbors. They come in, do whatever they need to do and go away. We can't go there. It's a different ballgame. If you go to Benin Republic, there are things that will happen, but they do anything they like here. And it's an unfortunate thing that we don't bother about our neighbors. Those living around us, even next door neighbor within Nigeria, your next door neighbor, you don't want to know about them. Everybody minds their business. You can't provide security that way. I can only secure you through you. That's the problem we're facing. People don't bother about whatever is happening around them. And when even they know, they don't bother to report because of trust.
In the course of fighting this insecurity, at a point in time, previous governments, they had to bring in what they call mercenaries from outside to assist our military in terms of reconnaissance and so many other things. We have to get help. Now, do you think we can do it alone, or do you think we still need to invite people to help us in our pushback?
Not mercenary in the sense of fighting, but assistance in terms of reconnaissance, in terms of intelligence. We don't have what it takes. We don't. We're beginning to develop a lot of things. For instance, the Army Cyber Command has developed so much, but they still need assistance. We don't have the satellite up there. The US, all these countries, the developed countries have the satellite. So even when they have the information, they might not tell you. Somewhere along the line, at times, it is not to their own national interest. Everybody's bothered. They look after their interests first before they come to you. So we have to develop the capability, the capacity to develop our capacity on intelligence provision. Without that, we'll be blind, we'll be deaf. And that's the problem. And that's the assistance we need, not the fighters. Intelligence. We have
but
fighters.
a lot has been said about intelligence, because I know we need intelligence, and most times intelligence is traded for intelligence. For example, the UK, US, and Israel will always trade intelligence amongst each other. But even in Nigeria, sometimes where, you know, people have complained, or residents of communities complain that we gave the military, or we gave the police, or we gave one security agency the intelligence. They knew about it, but nothing was done at the end of the day. That attack was carried out successfully. And then even before, you know, help came, it took a long time. In that kind of situation, would you say that intelligence is a major problem?
Information is different from intelligence. You provide information. The information must be processed to become actionable intelligence. At times you give me, you might believe you have given me intelligence. It might not be actionable. You tell me, look, there is somebody who belongs to this group in this compound. And I send reconnaissance there. And I realize in that compound there are over 100 civilians. Don't forget the same thing happened in Kaduna on the 3rd of December last year. You provide intelligence, real intelligence, but it's not actionable. I get there and I realize that the man is within civilians. And except I have what it takes, precision
guarded,
that I can fire this guy and that's the only person. Otherwise, you what
but
is
in intelligence that we got a letter, we got information that this community is going to be attacked. Is that not enough intelligence? That's information. In a situation where that attack successfully happened, what is the missing link?
Somewhere along the line, you provide me, okay, this guy said they've given us a letter that they are coming. And yes, it comes in. When the letter comes in? Who receives the letter? So a lot of, at times, the allegation is we've given the security agencies information about what is going to happen. But whom do you give it to? So, and that is one of the challenges given to the defense headquarters. You must streamline every operation. So people keep on wondering, why is defense headquarters going all over the place, taking virtually over everything? Yes, because somewhere, somehow, there must be coordination. So that whatever comes in is known to everybody. It's not that somebody has the information and is not ready to share. Because it's one thing to have the information, it's another thing to share. And sharing at the right time. Because even if giving intelligence that is late, is belated, there's nothing I could do. So coordination matters a lot as to whatever is happening. And that is one of the things that is currently happening, where everybody comes under one command. In the Northwest, the defense headquarters have actually taken over all the operations. And that's why it's moving smoothly. Everybody reports to one commander. Whether the man is Army, Navy, or whatever it is. This is the commander, everybody keys into. Whatever you have, you meet every other time to determine. Provide what you have, let's analyze it, let's assess it, let's process it, and then we work on it. And it's working. And I pray it continues like that.
Talking about change of tactics, looking at the training of our amphibious, looking at the training of our infantry soldiers, looking at the training of the armor corps and what have you. Now, looking at the dynamics in which terrorism, the dimension in which they've taken now, are we in tune with what is actually happening globally?
Yeah, we are moving there, not completely there. You see, for a fighting force, there are three things that we look at. The concept, which is how your doctrine, how you fight. And that has been tinkered a little bit to meet the current realities. The second is the physical component, which is the men and the equipment. Yes, a lot of things at that point are taking place. But the third, which we normally warn ourselves, is the moral. Whatever you do, somebody out there is looking at you. Are you performing? Are you performing rightly? It's one thing to perform. It's another thing to perform rightly. And so at times, most of the security agencies are handicapped based on the moral component of whatever they're doing. You need to be very, very careful. Somebody will shout, oh, we're giving them the address, the location of this guy. They should go in and kill everybody. You can't kill everybody. You can't. Because it's better for you to save an innocent person and allow one bad guy to go than to kill everybody, including innocent citizens. And that is one of the things that's handicapping most.
Like you are faced with a situation whereby the terrorist is using an anti-aircraft gun to face something that is not conventional, to face an advancing military.
It's not conventional, but that's not the first time it's going to happen to the Nigerian military. In Liberia, the same thing happened. So the experience is there. Now it's time for us to look at what are the lessons we've learned all over the places. Can we bring them together? Can we change the way we're doing things? And that is beginning to happen. challenges. When you have successes like it's being recorded, in the past, everybody gloat over, oh, we are doing well. The lesson now is, no, you are not doing well. You are just doing your job. You need to do better for the average Nigerian to trust you, because you must win the trust and confidence of these people before they can come and say, yes, you are doing well. We are now ready to give you what you want. That's the problem right now. Winning trust of the average Nigerian.
So one of the things we hear is sponsors and financiers of terrorism. The federal government will say we know them, we have a list, and every administration seems to have, have a list of know them. But we've not seen anyone being prosecuted yet. But I wanted to ask you, from your experience, how deep is terrorism in Nigeria in terms of, the sponsors and those who are running it?
Let me just answer a question we happened in the last administration, where the government reached out to the UAE government and 6 Nigerians were arrested. They were tried over there. Those who are caught here, what
400 till now. We didn't hear of them.
Nothing. We need we initially were talking about a whole of government approach, but which part of the government? The judiciary must be deeply involved, because when you take people before the court and you are afraid that these guys will be freed, it becomes difficult for you to take them before the court. So somewhere, somehow, the federal government need to ensure that the 3 elements of government, or the 3 arms of government, the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary, work as a team. And one of the solutions which everybody had bounded is separate the office of the Attorney General from the Minister of Justice. The minister is a politician. The Attorney General should be a technocrat, so that you can hold him responsible if nothing is happening. But right now, nothing is happening, and we tend to feel it's business as usual. Those in the field are always afraid of, if you kill these people, and you kill 2, 3 innocent people, you are bound to answer, not only in Nigeria. If you travel out, for instance, you want to travel to US or UK for an official function, they will deny you visa, because the belief is you've killed an innocent person. That's one of the things people don't know outside there. And so you tend to look at, okay, I've gotten this information, I process it into intelligence. What do I do? Send somebody there. You have civilians living in the place. You can't bomb everybody. The average Nigerian will say, oh, Zambisa Forest, you can bomb everywhere. These guys are Nigerians. So it is left for government to use all the national powers, all the elements of national powers available, not only the military, not only the security agencies, but other means. More importantly, the government needs to talk to people, which is what is beginning to happen now. Talk to them. Let people know what is happening. Let them be aware of events around them. And that will gradually build trust and will build confidence in the system. And people will be ready to divulge information or whatever they have.
We've not ultimately solved we've not had a kind of consensus on what to do with them, finally. Some people say, just saying that, look, they should be tried. Once you get them, they should be tried and they should face justice in the court of law. And some people are saying that, no, they should be de-radicalized, reintegrated into the system, and we can still do something with these people. So what do you think as a retired military?
The two must go together. Even if you de-radicalize, the legal process, judicial process must take place for the person to know, I've committed an offense, only that the state had forgiven me. You can't just say, yes, they surrendered, and so you just de-radicalize and take them back to the system. It's not going to work. They must be made to feel, look, we've done something wrong, and justice has taken place. Even though at the end of the judicial system, at the end here, the end result is to be forgiven. Don't sin no more, but they must go through. De-radicalization, the argument by some people, particularly those who have seen what really happened, is that how do you clean the brain of the person who have been torn against the system? You can't wipe, it's not a slate that you can clean up. It's not a computer you can delete. It's an idea. It's an ideological thing. So what do you do?
It's tough to wipe it out.
It's difficult, but you must do something about it. And that's what is being done in Gombe. Gradually, if it's going to work, people are complaining. You can't bring back somebody who came here and kill our fathers, our mothers, our sisters and brothers, and you believe we should take him back to our system. No, this man cannot be part of us again. But a lot of appeal is being made. We need to accept them back. But then those The victims are saying we need to see justice. So we have to find a way of combining the two.
But the
show
issue
the
people
victim.
usually have is the same issue with prisoners where, prisoners who have served their term are released into society, and sometimes, some of them, not all of them, you find that they are now repeat offenders, and then, they are caught again, tried again, and sent back to prison. But the people say, look, we do not have a system that monitors. So once you give amnesty or you deradicalize, you let go, and then no monitoring, this person is set free. And whether they have become informant for bandits, you have no idea. Isn't that a challenge in itself that we must set up that monitoring system before?
It's a challenge for the nation. Most of the things we do, even our policies, do we really monitor them? It's a major problem. We have policies that are wonderful. We started the implementation. How do you monitor? We must find a way of monitoring and evaluating major fault in most of the things we do in Nigeria. Monitoring and evaluating to know, yeah, this thing is really working. And how do you know whether it's working? You must monitor. If you don't monitor, how do you know? Even in our homes, we send our kids to school. If you don't monitor, you don't know whether the person is doing well or not, or whether there's a problem. So we must find a way as a nation to monitor and evaluate whatever we do. It's a major fault we have. Most of the policies we do, and the same thing is applicable to these people. We de-radicalize, we send them back, yes. And if you de-radicalize somebody who has been involved in a criminal or antisocial activity, you must engage that person one way or the other. So how do we engage them? And maybe if we allow local government to work, to function, the way the present administration is pursuing it, if it functions, it might be part of the solution. Because there is no crime that cannot be traced to society. And so if the local governments are functioning, then when they go back to their localities, we can challenge the local government administration and say, look, you must monitor this one, give them engagement, or you must engage them one way or the other. Maybe that's part of the solution.
The process of recruiting these people, poverty. We are told that some share as much as 5 naira, some share loans.
I have an experience with
yes, that. Very poor. Now, the same thing goes to banditry. An average young man will just metamorphose from Amajiri down to that. What can government do to stop this recruitment? How do we recruit them and keep killing them, or keep integrating them into the system? How do we even stop this menace, Abinishio?
There are so many things to be done, at times because there is lack of engagement. And I stand challenged, given the study that has been done, there's hardly a local government in Nigeria or a place where you can't have things to be done by youths. And engaging 5, 10, or 50 youths, there is multiply effect. Somebody has little money, he can share among his colleagues, and a lot of things. And we must also find a way of ensuring that small enterprises are encouraged. People should be able to get money